Good evening, councillors, staff, presenters, the press, and online viewers. We begin tonight's meeting with the acknowledgement that the land on which we are gathered is in the traditional territories of the Anishinaabe, specifically Mississauga. We would also like to acknowledge the North Channel Métis Council. We say miigwech to thank Indigenous people for taking care of this land from time immemorial. We are called to treat this sacred land, its plants, animals, stories, and its peoples with honor and respect. We do this in terms of our reconciliation. This is the last information session for this term of council. Over the past 4 years, we've had presenters sharing information on the strategic plan and plan updates, the service delivery review, asset management, the finances of your community, MPAC, the community improvement plan, looking at our community services and facilities, public works, our new concerns and complaints software, the Blind River and District Chamber of Commerce, Algoma Public Health, OPP Services, Algoma District Services Administration Board, Cameco Corporation and the Blind River Operations, North Shore Power Group, broadband updates, and so much more. In fact, one of our presenters has come back. Tonight, you will be receiving overviews from our representative of Municipal Affairs and Housing, our Deputy Clerk, our Chief Librarian, and the President of the Blind River Rotary. This is their night, so I will be turning the floor over and the mic to Municipal Affairs Housing Representative Leah Yakeley. Welcome, Leah.
Thank you, Sally, and thank you for inviting me here this evening. I'm unable to share my screen. I'm not sure, Pam, if you can help me out. It says it's disabled.
Try now.
Okay, there we go. Thank you. Can you see that okay?
We can. Thank you.
Okay. All right, this evening I am going to discuss the role of council, councillor and staff in municipal elections. So we will jump right in. Again, I'll introduce myself. My name is Leah Yakeley, and I am a municipal advisor with the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing in the North Sudbury Municipal Services Office. Due to time, I'm going to just jump right in. Just our disclaimer. These slides are meant to be a summary and should not be relied upon for legal or official purposes. We want to stress that we are not lawyers and that you should always consult the legislation and regulations, and when necessary, municipal staff should seek advice from the municipality's lawyer. We will not be able to cover every aspect of council's roles and responsibilities as an elected official, but our hope is that this provides you with a better understanding and improves the comfort level. For more specific information, please refer to the relevant legislation and regulations, which can be found on the ontario.ca website. Before we begin, I would like to provide you with a bit of information about our ministry. We in the Municipal Services Offices are other ministries as well. We assist in building municipal capacity through advice and training on elections, accountability and transparency, on asset management practices, municipal shared services, community improvement plans, revenue and planning tools, financial management practices, and service delivery reviews. Also on land use planning to assist in accountable local decision making and promote the use of existing planning tools. We also provide advice regarding government initiatives, identify and disseminate best practices, partner with municipalities and others for common goals, and build effective relationships. Council and staff roles. First, let me start by saying that Section 2 of the Municipal Act stipulates that municipalities are created by the province to be responsible and accountable governments with respect to matters within their jurisdiction. And each municipality is given powers and duties under the Municipal Act and other pieces of legislation for the purpose of providing good government. The Municipal Act is a legislative framework for municipalities, which seeks to balance local autonomy and flexibility with accountability and transparency of municipal operations. The key to any organization, government, business, industry, or local service clubs is for everyone to understand their respective roles and relationships. In the next few slides, we are going to review the role of the mayor, the mayor's role as the chief executive officer, the role of council, and the role of municipal staff, which are all key to an effective and efficient local government. Role of council. Section 224 of the Municipal Act sets out the role of council. One of the first things a potential councillor could do is to develop a general understanding of the Municipal Act, which is the primary piece of legislation applicable to municipalities. It's a legislative framework that recognizes municipalities as responsible local governments with a broad range of powers. It is the role of council to develop and evaluate the policies and programs of the municipality, determine which services the municipality provides, ensure that administrative policies, practices, and procedures and controllership policies, practices, and procedures are in place to implement the decisions of council. Ensure the accountability and transparency of their operations of the municipality, including the activities of the senior management of the municipality. Maintain the financial integrity of the municipality, and carry out the duties of council under this or any other act. It is also the role of council to conduct meetings, pass bylaws, develop policies with respect to accountability and transparency, notice, delegation of authority, hiring, disposition and sale of land, procurement of goods and services, and many others. This is all done as a collective group with all members each having one vote. Again, municipalities are created to be responsible and accountable governments with respect to matters within their jurisdiction. And each municipality is given powers and duties under the Municipal Act and many other acts for the purpose of providing good government with respect to those matters. The role of head of council. Depending on the municipality, the head of council may have different titles. It's up to each council to decide its composition. For example, the head of council could be a mayor or a reeve. Section 225 of the Municipal Act sets out the role of the head of council as providing leadership to council, preside over council meetings so that its business can be carried out efficiently and effectively, act as chief executive officer of the municipality, which to note is not the same as the chief executive officer of a corporation. Provide information and recommendations to the council with respect to the role of council, represent the municipality at official functions, and carry out the duties of the head of council under this or any other act. The head of council is also required to sign all council approved bylaws and contracts. In section 226.1 of the Municipal Act, the chief executive officer is defined. As the CEO of the municipality, the head of council has certain responsibilities, including upholding and promoting the purposes of the municipality, promoting public involvement in the municipality's activities, acting as the representative of the municipality both within and outside the municipality, and promote the municipality locally, nationally, and internationally, and participate in and foster activities that enhance the economic, social, and environmental well-being of the municipality and its residents. With these responsibilities, the head of council has a high public profile in a leading role. Part of the role is balancing citizens' expectations. However, it is important to remember that council decisions are made by the entire council. The council is the decision-making body of the corporation. The head of council, just like other council members, has one vote and does not have the power to make decisions for the municipality by him or herself without the agreement of council as a whole. To clarify, the head of council always has a vote. There is sometimes confusion on this point in the media and with the public who think that the head of council can only vote in the case of a tie. Another clarification regarding voting, refraining from voting counts as a no vote. This is spelled out specifically in legislation in the case of recorded votes. A tie loses, so the result is the same as having voted no. Although the legislation refers to the head of council as the chief executive officer of the municipality, this may be confusing to people with a business background. The head of council actually has very few powers that can be exercised independently of the rest of council, except where specifically delegated in cases of emergency or in the context of procedural matters during a council meeting. The head of council has no greater power than any other individual member of council. As a councillor, there are several roles that may overlap. For example, there's a representative, policymaking, and stewardship role to play in the municipality. The issues may be complex and controversial, and many decisions made may have long-term consequences that may extend beyond the 4-year term. The representative role. In the role as a representative, you're elected by your community to represent their views when dealing with issues that come before council. However, there may be many views and opinions, and they cannot be represented all of the time. With many issues, it is necessary to consider a variety of opposing interests and make decisions that will not be popular with everyone. Always with best judgment and the best interest of the municipality should be taken into account when making any decision. In practice, there is no single correct approach to the representative role, and on many issues, they may fall somewhere between two opposing viewpoints. Be sure to familiarize yourself with policies or protocols that your municipality may have in place regarding the handling of complaints and citizen inquiries. Although there may be a desire to find some way of helping, municipal staff should always be consulted. The municipality does not have a policy for handling citizen inquiries, complaints, and frequently asked questions. You may want to consider working with council and staff to develop such a policy. Furthermore, there may be circumstances where decisions are made by designated staff that operate at arm's length from the municipality, and where it could be inappropriate for elected officials to interfere or be seen to be interfering. Examples of this would include decisions made by the fire chief, the chief building official, or the medical officer of health. Policy-making role. Some council decisions are routine. Others establish general principles to help guide future actions. Those are often considered policy decisions. Some policies can be specific, such as a bylaw requiring dogs to be kept on leashes in public areas, and others can be broader and more general, such as approval of an official plan. How is policy made? First, it's necessary to identify the issue, agree on the facts and ensure objectives are met, direct staff to research the issue, identify and recommend options to council, engage members of the public and consider their feedback, review staff's information and consider demands on time, funding, and other issues, make a decision based on the best course of action available and adopt the policy, direct staff to implement the policy, and then work with staff on a continual basis to evaluate the policy and amend as required when necessary. In many cases, council refers a policy issue to a committee of council to take advantage of the committee's expertise in a particular area or to reduce council's workload. In practice, policymaking is sometimes less orderly than I have just described because of various factors, such as a rapidly changing environment, the complexity of issues facing local government, and the difficulty in singling out problems that require more immediate attention. Differing and sometimes strongly held views by stakeholders and members of the public, the lack of time to identify all possible alternatives and to conduct detailed research and analysis, the legal and financial limits on what council may do, and the complexity of implementing policies and developing mechanisms to monitor and evaluate them. Council is the primary policy-making body of the municipality. The administration is responsible for carrying out council's policy decisions. The two roles are distinct, but there can be much overlap. Although staff is responsible for implementing a policy, council may wish to develop appropriate reporting mechanisms to help ensure that policies are being carried out as intended and as effectively as possible, and so that council can follow implementation progress. The stewardship role. Council's objectives are to ensure that the municipality's financial and administrative resources are being used as efficiently as possible. There is a fine line between council's overall stewardship of the municipality and the administration's management of day-to-day activities. Generally, council monitors the implementation of its approved policies and programs, but the practical aspects of its implementation and administration are a staff responsibility. To be effective in the stewardship role, council may wish to have processes in place to help ensure that policies adopted by council are being implemented, staff are administering services and programs as council intended, rules and regulations are being applied correctly and consistently, and funds are being spent only as authorized, and the municipality's resources are being used appropriately and as efficiently as possible. Establishing and following such policies and guidelines helps council lead the day-to-day details for staff to manage. Council is here to deal with exceptional situations, ensure that policies are current, and listen to issues raised by the public to represent the broader community interest. Before council can monitor and measure the municipality's administrative effectiveness and efficiently, may wish to become familiar with policies currently in place. With input from municipal staff, council can determine whether the policies are functioning well or if changes are necessary. As part of this process, council may wish to define corporate objectives and set goals and priorities, establish clear administrative practices, provide specific guidelines and directions to staff on the application of those policies, delegate appropriate responsibilities to staff, establish a personnel management policy that emphasizes the recruitment, hiring, evaluation, training, and development of staff, ensure that policies with respect to most operations of the municipality are in place, with special note to mandatory policies required by the Act. Develop protocols for the flow of information between council and staff, and consider establishing a protocol for sharing approaches with other local governments and Indigenous communities that share a common interest in community health, culture, and economy. Relationship building early with Indigenous communities is the key to effective partnerships down the road. Some officers of the municipality, such as the clerk and the treasurer, chief building official, fire chief, have statutory obligations. A key feature of effective and efficient councils is a well-developed understanding of the council-staff relations and the role of each party. Section 227 of the Municipal Act sets out the role of staff as implementing council's decisions and establish administrative practices and procedures to carry out council's decisions, undertake research and provide advice to council on the policies and programs of the municipality, and carry out other duties required under this or any act and other duties assigned by the municipality. The Councilor's Guide provides a list of ways that council members can assist staff to meet council's expectations. Some examples include having a policy requiring comprehensive job descriptions for all staff, providing clear policy decisions, directions, and expectations, adopt policies that complement and reinforce staff efforts, consult with staff before deciding on policies, and being prepared for council meetings. Staff, in turn, should provide well-organized agendas with supporting materials, provide sufficient timely information and analysis to make council's decision-making easier, notify council of changes to legislation and programs, provide advice on policy, identifying the costs and benefits for the community in human and financial terms, notify council immediately of any unintended or unexpected impacts of policy decisions, and implement council decisions as effectively and professionally as possible. Staff relationships, council staff relationships. Councils and their administration have different roles within the municipality, but the roles have common goals and purposes. In general, it is the role of the elected council to represent the community and set the direction and policy for the municipality. And it is the role of staff to manage people and resources to achieve council's vision. Council generally sets the policy direction, and staff provides the research and expert advice to help council in their decision-making process. Staff and council rely on one another to move the municipality forward. Both staff and council provide leadership. Council provides political leadership, while administration provides leadership to the organization. The relationship between staff and council is interconnected, and it is important for council members and staff to respect one another's roles so that they can serve the public in an effective and efficient manner. Municipalities are required to adopt a policy on the relationship between members of council and municipal staff. Municipalities have the flexibility to determine the content of those policies. Some sample considerations that you may want to consider when developing such a policy is job descriptions for all staff, appropriate processes for directing inquiries, complaint mechanisms, guidelines for respectful working relationships, ethical standards, establishing an ethics executive to promote an ethical and impartial public service, the reporting relationships between staff members and members of council, and municipalities may wish to consider how their policy on the relationship can complement their local accountability framework for council members. And that wraps up that section. I'm just going to touch very quickly on some general information regarding the upcoming municipal elections. I'm going to touch on legislation regulations, key dates, who is eligible and ineligible to hold office, the voters list, and elector residents. The Municipal Elections Act sets out most of the rules regarding the conduct of municipal elections in Ontario. It covers most issues from eligibility of electors through nominations, conduct of electoral campaigns, as well as voting and reporting on campaign finances. Despite its name, the Municipal Elections Act applies to both municipal council and school board elections. The regulations provide information on nomination filing fees and spending limit formula and other issues. These regulations may be updated in advance of each municipal election. The Municipal Act is the primary legislation affecting municipalities. It provides general direction on matters relating to eligibility of candidates, council composition, and wards, among other issues. The Education Act governs the operation of school boards in Ontario and provides legislative and regulatory direction on the conduct of school board elections where they differ from municipal elections. In legislation, the word shall means must, as opposed to the word may, which means it's discretionary. Prescribed forms under the regulations can be found on the website of the Government of Ontario's Central Forms Repository. If you go to the Forms repository and type municipal elections into the search box, you'll get all the forms. If a municipality has forms from the last election, these may need to be updated to reflect legislative and regulatory changes. You could reach out to local clerks or professional associations for their advice or examples to ensure you always have a legal advisor review public forms for compliance with the legislation. In addition to the prescribed forms, AMCTO has provided a series of form templates for many aspects of the municipal electoral process, which you may wish to consider. You may also wish to reach out to clerks of neighboring municipalities for examples. Key dates. Nomination day is August 19th of this year. The last day for third-party advertisers to register is October 21st, 2022. Voting day is Monday, October 24th, 2022, between 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. unless reduced hours are set out in a bylaw for retirement homes and institutions, or council has passed a bylaw to open voting earlier than 10 a.m. The campaign period runs from the date the nomination is submitted up until January 3rd, 2023. The campaign period begins on the date that your registration is certified until January 3rd. The deadline for the filing of the campaign financial statement in the clerk's office is March 31st, 2023, no later than 2 p.m. All candidates and third-party advertisers must file this statement, regardless of how much they spend or received in contributions. Who is eligible to hold office? You must be a resident, non-resident owner or tenant or spouse, a Canadian citizen, at least 18 years of age, not prohibited from voting, not disqualified by any legislation from holding municipal office, and must remain qualified as of the day they are nominated and throughout the election period. You can only be nominated for an office if, as the day you are nominated, you are qualified to hold that office under the Act and are not ineligible under the municipal elections or any other act, or otherwise prohibited by law to be nominated for or to hold the office. For municipal elections with wards, as long as a candidate is eligible to vote in the municipality, they may run in any ward. Ineligibility to hold office on municipal council is set out under Section 258 of the Municipal Act and Section 17 of the Municipal Elections Act. A person is ineligible to hold office if they don't meet the qualifications for an elector in the municipality. They are a municipal employee of that particular municipality, unless they take an unpaid leave of absence before filing their nomination. Section 30 of the Municipal Elections Act states that a person shall not be considered an employee for this section by reason only of being a volunteer firefighter as defined in the Fire Protection and Prevention Act. To note, local municipalities may want to develop policies related to municipal employees running for office in another municipality. Section 17 of the Municipal Elections Act makes the following persons ineligible to vote and therefore ineligible to hold office: a person who is serving a sentence of imprisonment in a penal or correctional institution, a corporation, a person acting as executor or trustee or in any other representative capacity, except as a voting proxy, a person who was convicted of the corrupt practice described in Section 90 of the Act, if voting day in the current election is less than 5 years after voting day in the election in respect of which he or she was convicted. The voter's guide for Ontario municipal and school board elections is available on the ministry's website. It spells out eligibility to vote, etc., and has information which may answer many of your questions related to elector eligibility. It is important to note that individuals who are in custody but not elections. This means that a clerk of a municipality with a jail or other institution serving a similar purpose may have to make arrangements with the jail or other institution to ensure that persons in custody and not serving a sentence of imprisonment are able to exercise their right to vote. This may include adding themselves to the voting list access to candidates' election campaigns, and providing the opportunity to vote. Voters list. The Municipal Property Assessment Corporation, also known as MPAC, will prepare and deliver to the clerk a preliminary list of electors by July 31st, or an alternate date agreed to by the clerk and MPAC. An elector's name should appear on the preliminary list only once, regardless of the number of properties a person owns within the municipality. If the elector owns multiple properties and lives in the municipality, their name should appear on the list where they reside. The clerk must produce the voters list on or before September 1st, 2022. The clerk revises the list and may do so until the end of voting day, which is again October 24th. Clerks can use information already held by a municipality and may correct any obvious errors. MPAC must be notified of any corrections. Examples of common changes that may result from local knowledge can include verifying that no part of the municipality is missing from the list, check poll and ward assignments, check for duplications, check for names of deceased, check citizenship of property owners, and check convictions under Section 90, as mentioned, in incarcerations following sentencing. The preliminary list of electors, as corrected by the clerk, forms the voters list. Elector residence. An elector may only have one residence in one municipality at a time. A person's residence is the permanent lodging place to which, whenever absent, they intend to return. The place where an elector's family resides is their residence, unless the elector moves elsewhere with the intention of changing his or her permanent lodging place. If an elector has no part of a room as a regular lodger, or to which students are the exception to the requirement that an elector may have only one permanent residence. Under the Municipal Elections Act, a person who is living away from home while attending school may vote in the municipality where they are living while attending school and in their home municipality. The Municipal Elections Act states that a person may have residence in two local municipalities at the same time if the person lives in one of the local municipalities in order to attend an educational institution, and the person's permanent lodging place is in the other local municipality. If a person has no permanent lodging place, the following rules apply in determining his or her residence. The place to which the person most frequently returns to sleep or eat during the 5 weeks preceding the determination is his or her residence. If the person returns with equal frequency to one place to sleep and to another to eat, the place to which he or she returns to sleep is his or her residence. Multiple returns to the same place during a single day, whether to eat or to sleep, shall be considered one return. A person's declaration regarding the places to which he or she returned to eat or sleep during a given time period is conclusive in the absence of evidence to the contrary. I think I just went over by a few moments, but thank you. That wraps it up. Thank you very much. I have my contact information here. I'll put that in the chat as well. I'm also going to put a link to the Municipal Councillors Guide and the Municipal Elections that are on our website. Thank you again, and please feel free to anyone to reach out to me anytime, and I hope you all have a lovely evening.
Thank you, Leah. We really appreciate the overview, and knowing that there are a number of people that do have questions about the upcoming election. They have your contact information and they have the town's contact information. So we keep telling people, don't be afraid to ask the questions. Somebody else might want to know too. So again, thank you so much for this, and please stay on and listen to the rest of the presentations.
Thank you.
Okay, and we just get Leah to not share the screen anymore, which would be great. Thank you. And our next presenter is Pam Walsh, and we have a nice segue into what Pam is going to be giving you in terms of a whole new way of casting your vote. So Pam, take it away.
Hi, just allow me to get our presentation up. Perfect. We can all see this.
Yes.
So new for 2022, the Blind River electors are eligible to vote one of two ways, either online or by telephone. Blind River decided to use alternative voting methods for the 2022 election for many reasons. To enhance accessibility, the uncertainty of what the pandemic landscape might look like, and to encourage voter turnout among all demographics. There are two ways to cast your ballot, online or by telephone. Eligible electors will only be permitted to vote once and by one method only. Blind River electors will be receiving voter information letters. These letters will outline the available methods to vote, either online or by telephone. Electors should expect to receive their voter information letters beginning in October. The voting period for the 2022 election will begin on October the 11th at 9 a.m. and close at 8 p.m. on October 24th. This means we have 2 weeks to vote. Any Canadian citizen living in or owning property in Blind River should confirm that they are on the voters list by visiting voterlookup.ca. As Leah mentioned, you are eligible to vote if you are a Canadian citizen, at least 18 years of age, a resident of the town of Blind River, or an owner or tenant of land in the town of Blind River, or the spouse of the owner or tenant, and not legally prohibited from voting. A question we may receive, does my landlord add my name to the voters list? No, it is your responsibility to ensure that you are on the voters list and that your information is correct. If you do not receive a voter information letter, please contact the clerk's department. You may be required to provide the following items to confirm your eligibility: a government issued photo ID with your Blind River address on it, a bill, for example, a phone bill, a hydro bill with your name and address. Staff will work with all electors to ensure they receive their voter information letters. Eligible electors will be able to vote 24 hours a day, beginning from 9 a.m. on October the 11th until 8 p.m. the close on October 24th. If assistance is required, electors are able to attend town hall Monday to Friday during office hours and on Saturday, October 15th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can vote anywhere you have an internet connection or access to Wi-Fi. Alternatively, you can come to Town Hall for assistance. Again, from October the 11th to the 21st, so Monday to Friday from 10 to 4, including Saturday, October 15th from 10 to 4, or on Election Day for the entire voting period, which is 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Another question we've been receiving is, I don't have a cell phone or a computer. The 2022 voting center is located at Town Hall, 11 Hudson Street. We will have iPads and laptops available for public use. Eligible electors may cast their ballot online or via telephone by stopping at Town Hall with their voter information letter. Our staff will be happy to assist. Much like a traditional paper ballot election, Election staff will know who has voted, but under no circumstances will be able to see how you voted. But electors will be able to verify that their vote was cast. And voters will be able to print or screenshot a receipt of their ballot. Alternative voting will eliminate any room for human error in the counting of the ballots. Another question we're getting is, how difficult is this going to be? It won't be hard at all. And I have a quick little video to demonstrate.
For the 2022 municipal and school board elections, you have the option to vote remotely with online and/or phone voting. Remember, you can only vote using one voting method for these elections, choosing between traditional paper or remote voting if they are both offered by your municipality. In the following video, we will guide you through the simple remote voting process. Before the election, you will receive a voter instruction letter with your personal voting credentials and instructions on how to vote using the internet or the phone. This letter will be delivered by Canada Post to your regular mailbox. Remember that this document belongs only to you and must be kept private and safe. For online voting, you will need your voter instruction letter and a supported device with an internet connection. In your voter instruction letter, you will find the information required to access the system. This includes your PIN needed to identify yourself for voting, the web address to access the voting portal, and other important information related to the election. Please take some time to read it. To vote online, enter the online voting portal website listed in your letter and log in with your PIN and identification information. The number and type of identification information required to log in might be different based on your municipality's regulations. If you need assistance at any point in the voting process, simply click on the information button on the top right of the page. Depending on your municipality, you may also change the language of the voting portal. Once you have successfully logged in, if you wish to exit the system, you can always come back at any time, either online or by phone, and continue participating in those races you have not yet voted. During the voting process, a progress bar on top of the screen will show you where you are and how many steps are left to cast your ballot. To begin voting, you have to select the race in which you want to cast a ballot. If you have already voted in a race, a check mark symbol and the word voted will indicate this under the race title. When you select a race, a new screen will show the race and voting status. Based on your municipality, you may also select the ballot language. Press Vote to proceed with voting. The race page will display the ballots and all the candidates in this race. It is important to pay attention to the number of candidates required to be selected. It might be different for each race. Take your time to select the candidates of your choice. You can select and deselect according to your preferences, or reset and clear your selections to start again. Once your selections have been made, press Review to review the ballots. Carefully review your ballot content. You can still change your selections by pressing Change Vote and going back to the previous step. If you agree with the ballot content, press Confirm Vote. When you confirm your ballot, your vote will be securely cast and stored in the digital ballot box. At this point, your vote for this race is final and cannot be changed. Once the ballot has been cast, you will see a confirmation message indicating that your vote has been cast and stored. After you cast your ballot, you can verify that your votes are recorded correctly in the digital ballot box. To do this, download the Cytel Verify app to your smartphone from the App Store or Google Play. You do not need to download this app and verify your votes in order for your votes to be counted. Once the official verification app is installed on your smartphone, open it and scan the QR code from your confirmation screen. Generic QR code scanners will not work. When you're ready, enter the same voting PIN you used to vote. This will create a secure preview of your ballot that only you can see. This may take a few minutes. Your selections will display on your smartphone as they are recorded in the digital ballot box. You can review them to make sure they match how you meant to vote. If everything is correct, select Finish. If what you see is not how you meant to vote, select Not My Selections and contact your municipality. If there are other races you are eligible to vote in, you can continue voting in them. Once you have finished voting, exit the system using the Logout button at the top right of the screen. Thank you for viewing this information video, and if you need further information, please consult your usual local municipality information channels.
So again, just to remind everybody that our voting period will begin on October the 11th and close at 8 p.m. on October 24th. I have a few fun facts to share. Historically, Blind River's voter turnout has been approximately 40%. Many municipalities who offered online voting in the 2018 municipal election reported that the older demographic of voters were the highest users of online voting. Although the election closes at 8 p.m., election staff are counting ballots often until midnight. With alternative voting, we anticipate to have unofficial results within an hour of the close of voting. If you have any further questions, you can visit our municipal website, the municipal elections page 2022, or contact the clerk's department at extension 201.
Thanks so much, Pam. I'm sure that you've enlightened a lot of people, and it's so nice that you don't have to be in Blind River for those dates, that you could be doing your voting from anywhere in the world. And I think especially for our students that are going away, it's nice that they can still vote in their hometown. So thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it.
Welcome.
Thank you. Moving on, we have our chief librarian, Jennifer Fortin, and she's going to be sharing all the cool things that are happening at your library. Jen, take it away.
Good, thank you. My name is Jennifer Fortin. I'm the CEO of the Blind River Public Library, and I'll just share my screen here with you. Can everyone see that? Can everyone see that?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good. Okay. Public libraries aren't just about books anymore. A lot of us saw that through the pandemic of the value of the library. And in Ontario, it's the farthest reaching, most cost-effective public resource and community hub, reaching 98% of Ontarians. We're all sizes and communities. They're local, close to home, and adapt to the priorities of the people in the communities they serve. Trained frontline library staff are people focused, responding to the unique needs by developing, providing, and offering education in digital format, by ebooks, audiobooks, supporting families and seniors with no and low cost programming for young children and families and even seniors in our community. We have connections by providing free internet and Wi-Fi services along with computer availability. And we can assist community members with upgrading their skills by finding job or launching business through their computer access. And we also have maker spaces, which help teach kids of all ages with coding and different functions there. And now this was especially important for the library to be open during the pandemic because we were the only one, once things started opening up again, where people did have public access and were able to come in and print and do things. And we had a lot of people that were very glad that we were open to get their resumes out there once again. A little bit about us. In the 1999, the town of Blind River had owned this building we are currently in. And at one time it was a post office, town hall, courthouse, jail, customs office, public health unit, and a separate school board. And through Ontario Heritage Funds and the town of Blind River, we are presently at our home at 8 Woodward Avenue, and we've been open for business here since July of 2000. So library services are free to property taxpayers and residents of town of Blind River, and through a contract, property taxpayers and residents of the township of the North Shore. Our mission is community resource committed to furthering the ability of community members and to access information required for leisure, education, and cultural needs. Our vision is to provide the best possible library service to all residents, to evolve and adapt changing technologies, to work towards developing enhanced physical space to accommodate current and future patron needs, develop and promote the library as a technology hub for the community, encourage partnerships, and to foster current and future staff competencies that will help provide IT support. And that really helps with technology. It's amazing how many people come in and ask for help. Library boards. Now, we want to keep public libraries in our area local, and through the library board, their local volunteers, municipal council members, and local community representatives. They are governed by the PLA, or Public Libraries Act, and they ensure that the public library provides comprehensive, efficient public library services and responds to the community needs. Local library boards answer to the needs of the local community. They're transparent by having board meetings that are open to the public, and each board member has the legal obligation to act honestly, in good faith, and in best interests of the library. Now, with it being election year, we also will be on the outlook for board members. So if anybody may be interested in that, you can contact myself or the town hall and get further information on how to become a board member. Here's some statistics. These are from 2021. Every year I have to hand in to the government different statistics on things. And here's a few. At the end, this would be as of December of 2021. We had over 15,000 printed titles in-house, over 1,100 DVDs or CDs, over 74,000 ebook titles, over 19,000 audiobook titles. The special collection is partly with Ancestry. We have a library edition, and also it is partly as our local history. Printed periodicals or magazines or newspapers in-house, and the electronic periodicals are over 25,000 online. Our in-house stats, this is as of June 22nd of this year. We had over 3,600 website visits, phone and email 278, computer usage 57, reference questions 307, attendance, those are people entering the building, was 529, and And a fun fact is for July, we've only been open 9 days and we already have seen 580 people for July. So we're getting a lot more people picking up, visiting now that everything's open again. Year to date, our website visits have skyrocketed. We do no longer have a Facebook page due to being hacked. So we have gotten rid of that. So we've been really pushing the website. So it's nice to see we've had over 15,000 hits to date in June, up to June of 2022. What we offer our patrons, this is a short list, but it gives us a few ideas of things that people may not know. Free public computer and free Wi-Fi use, photocopying and printing, shut-in service, interlibrary loans. If we don't have a book, we have access to all of Ontario libraries and universities. And if we don't have it, we can try and get it for you. Movies and TV shows, audiobooks. Libby is an app that we use for e-readers, audiobooks, and they do have some movies and they're getting e-periodicals. We offer Ontario Park stay passes that are free for people to come and check out for a 2-week period. We have a book club once a month from September to May. We have 4 early literacy computers for kids that aren't on the internet. We have 2 that are for 0 to 6, and we have 2 that are from ages 6 to 12. We offer kids programming. We currently have a story walk up and down Main Street. There's different businesses that have a page in each book for you to go and read in the windows. And we also have summer reading program Mondays and Thursdays throughout the summer for July and August. We have a craft and chat on Tuesdays. Cricket club is Mondays. Family genealogy, you can come into the library and use the Ancestry Library Edition for free, but it is only available in the library. During the pandemic, you were allowed to use it from your home, but that has changed back as of January. We offered a tax clinic for area residents if they were eligible. We have a lending of fishing rods for kids program. We have walking poles you can loan. We have the public washroom, of course. And in the summer, we are the cooling station, and in the winter, a warming station. A lot of people stop off when they're on their walks around town. We always assist and help with technology. We try to have different clinics available for anyone that needs help. And as staff, we do the best we can if you need help. And we've often been a safe haven for different community members. Here is some of our community partners or partners that we have partnered with over the years. And we are greatly appreciated with all of them. We couldn't do a lot of programming or get a lot of information from different areas without them, and we are greatly appreciated for all of that they do. There's my contact information. If anybody has any suggestions or thoughts, you feel free to email me, call me. We also have our website there, and I would be glad to help anybody out if I can. Or if you have any suggestions, I'm always open to do what we can for the town of Blind River. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. It was fun to watch Mo last week at the teddy bear picnic.
Yeah, she loved it. Yeah.
The library is well represented, and we do enjoy seeing your updates on our weekly information handouts.
So thank you.
Yeah, so thank you so much for that. Yes, and last but certainly not least, Bob McAllister is the president of the Blind River Rotary, and he'll be providing you with some of the amazing projects that the Rotary is involved with. Bob, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Sally. Madam Mayor, councilors, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bob McAllister, and I'm the current president of the Rotary Club of Blind River. I'd like to thank you for this opportunity to reach out to the citizens of Blind River and to tell you a little something about our Rotary Club. Rotary is the oldest service club in the world. Currently, there are 1.4 million Rotarians in over 46,000 clubs. Rotary is represented in approximately 200 countries and territories worldwide. The Blind River Club was founded in 1989, and we currently have 15 members. And it is my humble opinion that it is the best club in the world. Here are just a few of the things the Rotary Club of Blind River has done over the past year. We recently completed and opened the B. Jensen Pavilion in Sellers Park. We contacted over 130 businesses and organizations in Blind River an area and put them together in welcome packages. These packages filled with promotional items will be distributed to new residents when they come to town, when they move to town, to help them to find the local goods and services they'll need to live here. We recently ran the 31st annual AJ Shamus Golf Tournament. We distributed 1,500 pounds of potatoes to the Blind River Food Bank, as well as food banks in Serpent River, Mississauga reserves. We supported the Blind River Cross Country Ski Club after the clubhouse had been broken into and robbed. We then spearheaded the charitable donations in support of the ski club, which collected over $9,000. These donations came from the kind hearts of you, the people of Blind River. We supported the Blind River Library and sponsored a summer reading program. We gave out recognition plaques to the grade schools and two $1,500 scholarships to the high schools. We distributed over 700 treat packages to essential workers in recognition of their dedication and service during the COVID-19 pandemic. We assembled Christmas gift packages to the women's shelter of Mississauga, as well as seniors and shut-ins in town. Financially, we have supported the North Shore Health Network, the Soup Sisters, the Blind River Paddlers, the Legion, the Blind River Beavers, and Rotary International's relief program in Ukraine. We are currently sponsoring concerts in the park, live music being performed by local musicians on Thursday evenings during the summer at Sellers Beach. The reason for my speaking to you this evening is to ask you to consider joining the Rotary Club of Blind River. We meet on the first and third Tuesdays for dinner at the 17 restaurant. It's the perfect way to give something back to the community, this wonderful community that we live in. But the best part is you'll meet some great new friends and have a lot of fun. You might say you're too busy. Well, the fact is we're all busy. My thinking is I'd rather get 50% support from a new member like you than 100% of nothing. If you'd like to know more about the Rotary Club here in Blind River, please contact me personally. Once again, my name is Bob McAllister, and my phone number is 705-356-7777. Once again, 705-356-7777. Thank you for allowing me this opportunity to speak.
And thank you, Bob. It's hard to believe that 15 people do all of those things for the community. And I've personally gone through your welcome bags, and there is a myriad of things and great deals that you can get. It almost makes me want to be a newcomer again. So thank you. You've certainly provided the newcomers of Blind River with everything they wanted to know. And I'm so excited about Thursday night and seeing Mark Tarantini at the B. Jensen Memorial Pavilion. It's going to be great. And I know the weather's going to be fantastic. So bring your lawn chairs, everyone, because it's guaranteed to be a fun night for sure. So this concludes today's presentations. If others want to see it, this has been recorded and you can see it on the town website. Thank you to all of our presenters for providing you, the residents of Blind River, with these updates. Blind River is your community, and we want to make it the best place to stay, play, and live. On behalf of Town Council and staff, Thank you for listening and have a great evening.